back to my channel. If you guys are new, be sure to subscribe down below. And be sure to put on the post notifications if you guys do enjoy this reaction. And in today's reaction, I'll be reacting to, or continuing the documentary to the Marianas Trench Phantoms album, that being called My Love Is the Killing Kind. Also, want to mention that I am so far 7 minutes in, out of the 58 minutes and 49 seconds. That being said, guys, let's get right into the reaction.
Seeing some background vocals right now, and we're actually getting 3 of us on the mic at one time. Josh, Michael, and myself, while Ian mans the computer. And,
it's because I suck. You won't let me say it because I suck.
It's actually, the truth is it's because he sucks. So.
I think each of our albums are quite different from one another. Phantoms to me, it has the most guitar that we've featured on an album since our first album, which is funny because I remember seeing a lot of people having comments being like, "What the fuck? There's no guitar anymore." And actually, there's like so much guitar. It's just it doesn't sound like like it. You know, it's just like different sorts of tones that people are.
I would love to go into the studio and be able to witness this in person. This is just mind-blowing.
Are you used to hearing?
We tried to create these sort of pop-sounding songs, but using actual guitars to do the parts, and I think it translated pretty well. It was like pop music, but Marianas Trench style.
So a lot of the stuff on Phantoms that people might think are synths are actually Matt and I playing guitar through wacky pedals and getting fun organic tones and stuff.
We tried out some new instruments, we tried out some new guitar pedals and sounds and techniques and this and that, and yeah, you know, we just chipped away at it one song at a time. I think maybe Ghost was the first track that we did. I could be completely wrong, but that was a fun one for me. I'm kind of proud of all the guitar intricacies on there. Yeah, like that. That's the one.
It was really cool. On this album, we were able to use instruments like a harpsichord and a theremin, and there's no way you could have used those on previous albums. So one thing that's really neat when you have such a distinct setting for an album is it does allow new creative opportunities and options with the production. I thought that was really fun, seeing those things reveal themselves as we recorded Phantoms. No, the water tastes dented. It is dented. So Ian just dented my water bottle, and now my water tastes bruised. Josh is trying to work, and we're fighting about this. You dented this. He didn't even do anything to it. Okay, we should do something here.
So when we did Phantoms, I was talking about like sort of hauntings and sort of a more spooky approach to things, more macabre approach to things. So I would start and end my day with reading an Edgar Allan Poe story or poem or what have you, which eventually got me getting pretty weird. I started to have like terrible dreams all the time, and you know, a lot of the themes of Poe's work is addressing sort of the descent into madness. That he was sort of like the first writer to really write about going crazy and like, am I losing it, and questioning the narrator, questioning his own reliability and stuff. And I really liked that as a place to draw from. So I started to just push myself to try and let myself lose it as much as I could. Okay, scratch vocal.
Wow. Something just about like the creative process behind it, like the whole like reasoning behind this album and like what leads up to this album. Incredible. Like the whole, I mean,
Losing my mind! So it's sort of a jigsaw puzzle for me to put together, which is what we're going to be working on. Something tells me for the next few days. So all that stuff became worth it when we started working on The Killing Kind, which was the last song that we recorded on the album. And I remember we were starting to mix the album on January 2nd, and it was December 26th, it was Boxing Day, and I still didn't have the opening track or the closing track written or recorded.
we had to have the record finished right at the beginning of January. We had a tour in the books scheduled for the beginning of March, and in order for the album to be out before the tour started, we needed to get it done.
So I had the 26th to January 1st to come up with and fully record The Killing Kind and Eleonora.
We were really down to the crunch time-wise, so I had to get the last 4 or 5 songs done in 2 days, and we had everything set up at the warehouse, and I had all my charts parted out. And I didn't get. Josh was working on the closer, I think, over Christmas, and he's like, "Here you go, we're coming in tomorrow." So I was like, "Oh!" You've heard the closer. It's not.
That is crazy.
It's a rather complex song, so I had to try and write everything down and notate what I was going to play, and then when I got in there, pulled it off pretty quick, I guess, relatively quick.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. But do you want them all down or down and then slightly building?
So all of the sort of method actor-y stuff and sort of trying to be in character and stuff, and I was wearing cloaks and shit to the studio. I was wearing all black and all this stuff, and my hair was super long, and I remember I didn't shave and I had that horrible beard going, and I don't look good in a beard, but I was just trying to let everything go. I think all of that method acting stuff was worth it when it came to the vocal in The Killing Kind. Because for me, I'm really proud of that vocal, not because it's a big shredder vocal, but because it really does start to sound like someone fucking losing it. And that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to sound like someone just letting go of their last grip on sanity. And that's what I was really looking for with that section. This is gonna be
Weird to do. It doesn't sound, once you do it though, it doesn't sound weird.
Yeah,
it sounds
very weird to say.
Yeah. It sounds right, but to do it would be...
To do it would be insanity! Let's do it! Okay. Sing! My favorite thing is mixing, because after the song is mixed, that's it. It's done. We're putting it away now. And I am an obsessive motherfucker. So when we're working on a song, it's not just am I working at it at the studio, it's and then I print a version of wherever it got to that day, and that's what I listen to in the car on the way home, and then that's what I listen to in the car.
That is what you call artist. That's what you call an artist.
I go to the studio the next day, and I'm working on what we're going to do next. And while we're doing an album, that album is literally the only thing I'm listening to. So it's when we get to mixing, it's finally, we're finishing this fucking thing. This is our last day of mixing. I'm very excited. Finally ready to put this thing in the fucking can. We're just putting together the last sort of sequencing stuff of what song leads to next and stuff, and little transitional things. And then it's coming to you guys. I'm so fucking excited.
It's really neat because this is one of the very last parts of the recording process, and you're not really putting down any more new music. You're sculpting the stuff that you have, and we usually have a ton of stuff in every song.
Once the mixing is complete, then in the warehouse we actually had a little listening party where we invited our friends and family down, just a small gathering of people to hear what we had put together. And that's always a very nerve-wracking moment because it's generally the first time where you've listened to the album from front to back, and the first time that you've really shown anybody else other than...
I can listen to this album and every single one of their albums all day, constantly from start to finish, without an issue, without skipping. That is just me. But
The 4 of us.
That is
pretty sure most of you guys probably do the same, but yeah.
It's always my favorite part, being here's a very close group of 15 to 20 people, and here's what we've been working on for the last 6 months. And it's very nerve-wracking because even though it's your close friends and stuff, they're gonna be oh, it's good. It's a very naked feeling, but it's my favorite. That's my favorite thing about our job is that 45 minutes to an hour where I get to play the album for everyone for the very first time.
Yeah, it kind of makes it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that Marianas Trench decided to kind of just record this entire process of the album and kind of make it into a documentary in which we can just kind of just see and be a part of just this whole journey that they went through. And I love how creative they are with their music and all the time that they put into their music, and just in general, like, all the effort shows when it comes to their albums. I love that all the albums that they have released just has this kind of story behind it and meaning. Let me know what you guys think about this part. This should be part 2 of the Phantoms documentary. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this part of the documentary. And if you guys have any recommendations, I know this will take quite a bit, as I've said before, to finish. This should be part 2. There should be maybe 4 to 5 more parts to this documentary. That being said, guys, let me know if you guys have any recommendations, and be sure to put on the post notifications if you guys did enjoy this reaction, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. That being said, later.